Greetings, folks. Today is Sunday, February 24th, 2019. I'm Tom Lineweaver, and this is Truth Matters Today. It's Sunday. And if it's Sunday, it's my new Sunday lineup, consisting of Face the Nation, comes on at 10:30 on CBS, and the show that the local station puts on afterwards is called Full Measure by Sharyl Atkisson. And so that's my Sunday lineup today. As you already know, or maybe you don't know, I've already stated that I do not trust Chris Wallace anymore, and I certainly don't trust Chuck Todd anymore. This is a guy, Chuck Todd is, as I understand it, he is now a climate change liar. And he has turned Meet the Press into a climate change propaganda machine. And so as a result, I can't trust the man. He's not a proper journalist. I mean, I wish we had a clone of Tim Russert. I'm sorry. It's just, the show was really good when he was there. But today, we can't trust it. We don't know whether Chuck Todd is going to be honest with us anymore. He's a climate change liar. And so on Face the Nation today, so far the host there hasn't done anything real stupid. I mean, she's doing everything that most everybody else does, so it's not a big deal. But today she had on a guest by the name of Governor Jay Inslee from the state of Washington. And I'm not going to say the great state of Washington, because a friend of mine who once lived in the state of Washington couldn't wait to get out of it. And I can understand what he was telling me how bad the state of Washington is. And by the fact that they elected this guy as governor shows, I mean, this is another climate change liar. That, okay, Governor Inslee, if you're listening to this, or you hear about this somewhere along the line, I've got a question for you. How is climate determined? How can climate change? And how can man change it? You see, you cannot answer those questions honestly or truthfully. Because if you did, you'll let people know that you've been lying this whole time. Okay, folks, I'm going to tell you one more time. Now, I was taught this when I was in elementary school, in the public school system. Back then, you got a little bit of truth. Today, all they care about is showing naked pictures to little boys and girls and asking what's the difference. That's what they're doing. Some public schools are doing that today. And the state of Washington is one of them. So I heard. I don't know for certain what they do in Washington. I don't really care because they've got an idiot for the governor. But anyway, I mean, we have a Democratic governor here in Pennsylvania. But he's not, I don't think he's as bad as what they've got in the state of Washington. Of course, I haven't heard him talk about global warming or climate change. Okay. So, there you have it, Mr. Inslee. Governor Inslee, answer my questions. I mean, when am I going to get these climate change proponents to answer any of my questions? And they are logical questions, folks. How is climate determined? Now, when I was in public school, and I was going to say this, and it kind of slipped my mind briefly, but when I was in public school, the school teacher, I don't know whether I was at first grade, second grade. What? It wasn't first grade. I don't remember whether. I know it was elementary school. I went to Henry Houck Elementary School in the city of Lebanon, and the teacher, we had a globe. Remember those globes that they had in school? They had something that looked like almost like a protractor that went around half of the globe, and it really measured off degrees. So it wasn't quite a protractor because the flat edge wasn't there, but you had this thing. You know, the globe was showing the degrees of the tilt that the Earth is in as it goes around the sun. Now, she also had a flashlight. A flashlight. That flashlight was supposed to represent the rays of the sun. And so she was showing the rays of the sun, how the rays of the sun hit the Earth at certain times of the year. And that gave us our seasons. Now, the rays of the sun are also determinative of climate. So the same thing that gives us seasons also gives us climate. That was also explained to us in elementary school. Today, all they care about is showing naked pictures to little kids and asking them to say what the difference is. I kid you not. I'll bet you that happens in the state of Washington. Anyway. Okay, so here we got a climate change liar. He's constantly, I don't know how many times he used the word climate crisis. You know, one of these days I'm going to have a staff and I'm going to have that information. Anyway, but it was at least 10 times. Every time he opened his mouth, the word climate crisis came out. At least it seemed that way. And then they had a governor of New Mexico. What was her name? I don't remember. She was talking about the border and how there is no crisis at the border. So now we've got a crisis liar talking about the climate crisis, who agreed with his Democratic governor of New Mexico that there is no crisis at the border. I just love this stuff, folks. Oh my. So there's no crisis at the border, but there is a crisis in the air, in the atmosphere. Give me a break. Listen, I know baloney when I see it. I come from Lebanon, Pennsylvania. The capital, the world capital of baloney. We know baloney. In fact, my favorite sandwich when I was a kid was Lebanon bologna and Wisconsin cheese. What? And then I met a girl from Wisconsin, and somebody said, I think it was my brother-in-law said, Tom likes a little Wisconsin cheese. Yeah, I do, with my Lebanon bologna. Anyway. Okay, so I'm going to visit the great state of Wisconsin someday, and maybe, just maybe, I will have one of those sandwiches again. I'm not really allowed to have it anymore because of when you get older, they restrict your diet something. I'm at the point where I really don't know what I'm allowed to eat, so I just eat anything. Okay, now, I'll talk about that Wisconsin cheese later because I have more to tell you about that. Well, not much more. It came in a little circle. It was rounded, and it was encased in wax. At least it seemed like wax. And then you would slice it and take the wax off. Okay, and I haven't seen that. And there was on one part there was the shape of Wisconsin was on the wax. So I knew it was Wisconsin cheese. Okay. Lemon and bologna, Wisconsin cheese, one of the best sandwiches of all time. Okay, so now we have this climate change liar, and I'll bet he's not going to hear this. He's probably not going to hear this. But I want any climate change proponent, any of you, I don't care who it is, Al Gore, answer my question. John Kerry, answer my question. Chuck Todd, answer my question. How is climate determined? You can't answer that, can you? None of you can, because if you answer those questions truthfully, everybody will know that climate change is a hoax. It's a hoax, folks. And why am I talking so much about this when I could be talking about other things? Some things that are more important. What's more important than this? These people want to steal your money and take away your liberty. I mean, can you imagine the liberty that they're going to take away from you if they pass this stuff into law? I mean, they're not saying they want to ban planes, but they might want to ban you from flying on a plane. Depends on who you are, depends on why you want to fly, and they might limit to your reasons of flying. If you're just going to fly to go visit Grandma for Thanksgiving, forget it, you're out. If it's not a business flight, you're not going. I don't know if that's part of it. But I do know that your activities, if these people are able to take control and pass all these laws that they want to pass, your life, as you know it today, will be over. Your choice of cars are going to be limited. I mean, what was her name? That pretty lady from New York. I don't even want to say her name. That smiling face that tells lies. Anyway, I mean, she even talked about, maybe it would be good to get an electric car. Hey, I might be forced to get a car that I can't fit in. Anyway, folks, these people want to control everything you do. Everything. I mean, we went through it when I was younger. When I was a little kid, my dad used to burn the trash. Now, he would be considerate of the neighbors. If the wind was blowing in a certain direction, he wouldn't burn. Or if it was wash day and people had wash hanging out and the wind was going in that direction, he wouldn't burn. So my dad was a compassionate burner. He cared about the neighbors. And so, as far as I'm concerned, most of the people like that in my dad's generation were like that. There was no need to come along and pass laws and saying, you can't burn on certain times of the month. So Monday came along, it was a no burn day. I think it was Wednesday. Wednesday was the only day of the week that you could burn trash. Well, Wednesday came, and if the atmosphere was not proper, if the wind was blowing and so forth, my dad wouldn't burn. And so he'd have to wait till the following Wednesday. Actually, I think what they were trying to do is make the garbage collection necessary. Anyway, so maybe the garbage man was paying off the government to increase their business. Who knows? That could have happened. In the way things work in politics today, I would not doubt that. We've got the best government money can buy. And so if you don't have any money to give them, forget it. They don't give a rip about you. Anyway. So, hey, welcome to Monday morning. Yep, I just looked at the clock. It just flipped. We're now in Monday morning. Folks, I kid you not. Our government wants to take away your liberty. That's all they care about. They want to take away your money. They want to take away your liberty. They want you to be penniless. And in fact, they want you to be a slave. That's exactly what they want. They want you to be a slave. And believe me, if these climate change laws are passed, you will be a slave. Anyway, it's just, I don't know how much. Yeah, this is probably the most important. I mean, who cares if they build a wall on the side of the water? It's not going to change anything. You know, I mean, it's unconstitutional, but so is this. This is worse than that wall. And that's why you don't hear me talking much about the wall. That I've been talking mainly about climate change, and every once in a while I'll throw in something else. It's a hoax, folks. You've got to stop listening to these goddamn liars. And by the way, I used that term correctly. Did you know that lying lips are an abomination to God, and therefore anybody who lies is a goddamn liar? Anybody who lies. God has damned lying. Often. How many times does, we're talking about making false accusations, committing perjury, and all that stuff. God says don't do those things. Anyway, they are liars. I just dare one of you climate change proponents. Haven't done that in a while. One of you climate change proponents, answer my questions. Or are you too damn chicken to do so? You people are a bunch of liars. And if the American people listen to you, it's just, I don't understand why anybody is listening to you. But somebody must be, or you wouldn't be saying it, because that's the way politics works. You only say what you think you can get away with. All under the pretense of, I'm here to help. Bull. That's not just baloney, it's rotten baloney. Okay, folks. I know I'm redundant today, but I'm been redundant, because hey, listen. Every time they come on the air, they mention climate change and they mention the climate crisis. We do not have a climate crisis, folks. I mean, if we do, explain it to me, folks. How is climate determined? How can it change? And how can man change it? Those three questions. Answer them, you people. Oh. And then they had a Republican on. A Republican, what's his name? Adam Kinzinger from Illinois. He's a Republican from Illinois. What's he in? House of Representatives? And of course, he's talking about the crisis at the border. But what's worse? Listen, they build the wall, it's not going to change my life any. They build the wall, it's not going to take away your liberty. This is not the same as telling you you can't buy certain light bulbs. This is not, if they build the wall, that doesn't mean you have to go out and get an electric car. That's why this climate change hoax is worse than the border wall, as far as political topics to discuss. Democrats are being worse with this. Now, I will tell you, there are good Democrats at the grassroots. And I don't know if they believe what their leaders are telling them. I don't know that. I'm not a Democrat anymore, so I don't pay attention to what they're doing. Yes, I've been a Democrat. I started being a Democrat in 1974 when I turned 18, and the first president I voted for was Jimmy Carter. And then Jimmy Carter didn't do squat. So I became a Republican and supported Ronald Reagan, because I realized, hey, I'm not really a Democrat. And I'll explain that to you sometime. Anyway, okay, look, I'm over 20 minutes, and I don't like to ramble on. I don't like to do that. I like to come in, say what I want to say, and be done with it. But this is such an important issue that your life will be permanently curtailed if they get their way. The kind of car you want to buy, they might even discuss further tell you what kind of light bulb to buy, what kind of hairspray to buy, and on and on and on. All they want to do is control you. Please understand that. They want to steal your money to pay for all this climate change crap. All right. I've gone way overboard. I really don't like to do this, but folks, I want you to just really pay attention to everything I said today, because if they get their way, your life as you know it is over. All right. That's Truth Matters today. Thank you for listening.